There, Josh?
Yep.
All right, go for it. Start it out.
Hello. Can you see my screen? Hello,
Yes.
My name is Matt Storms, and this is Helpdesk Hangouts. Wait a minute. Something's going on. Something's wrong. This has been hijacked. Wait a minute. No! It is me, Josh Bachynski. Ha 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 ha. This week I have hijacked Helpdesk Hangouts. And all joking aside, my name is Josh Bachynski, and this week I'm guest hosting Helpdesk Hangouts. Helpdesk Hangouts was started by Sash Mayer and Matt Storms, and it's a hangout where we try and help webmasters answer webmaster questions, website questions, and SEO questions as well. So if anybody out there has any SEO questions or any webmaster questions they want to ask us, they can definitely do so by commenting us or hitting us up on Twitter or joining the Hangout. We still have some space here to join the Hangout and ask questions. Before we do that, Matt normally has everyone introduce themselves. So I'm going to ask people to do the introductions, and I'm going to start with Ali.
Hi guys, my name's Ali. I work at Infinite Communications. I'm one of the owners here. We do online marketing and web design. I was actually referred by Danny, who I see is in the group now. He said this is a real good place for SEO tips and info, so I'm looking forward to learning something new.
Great, thanks Ali. And Danny?
Hi everyone, I'm Danny. Can you hear me okay?
No.
No, can't hear me? Okay.
No, I can hear you. Stop fiddling.
You can hear me? Yes?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. I'm Danny, just generally interested in SEO and happy to be here.
Thanks, Danny. Mr. Storms, who are you?
Matt Storms, live in San Jose. I am a technical SEO and a Google top contributor where I hang out and I answer questions with people. I work on people's sites. More often than not, I fix a lot of websites, kind of like a plumber.
Good. I know all about plumbing and various plumbing-related activities. Sasha, we all know who you are, so we'll just skip you. Veronica, who are you?
Hi, I'm Veronica Romney. I'm based in Boca Raton, Florida. I'm the Director of SEO and PPC for a company based in Utah, Property Solutions. We're a property management software company, and I run their SEO department.
Great. Thanks for joining us. William?
I'm Matt Storms. I'm running the show, and I'm hijacking the show from Josh. Oh, that's not the right conversation. I'm sorry.
I'm Spartacus.
And you're hijacking the show, too?
That's it.
You know what? We can't all hijack this show, so let Josh do that one. But, okay, Josh. I'm William Rock. I'm just a geek on the show.
Awesome. And Kevin, I see you joined us. Kevin, you want to introduce yourself? You're muted there, Kevin.
Muted. I'm muted. I'm not muted. Hey, I'm Kevin. I'm Kevin Mullet. I'm with Market Snare. We help companies with tens to thousands of locations. Been doing SEO since, I don't know, late 90s sometime.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us, Kevin. Okay, so we typically help people out. I don't know if there's any questions in the Q&A. There is none because Matt never enabled it, or maybe he thought I was supposed to do that. So we'll just go off the cuff. And so I know that a few people here had questions. Ellie, I think you had a webmaster question. If you want to ask it, please, by all means, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm working with a client. His website is ipcpack.com. He has overall pretty good organic traffic, but no rankings. He's had a website for a long time. He does have some unnatural links that an old SEO company did for him back in 2011, and we're kind of wondering if we should do the disavowalment on some of those links, if we shouldn't, and kind of what to go after, because he's all about rankings, and we've educated him on not just focusing on rankings, but we want to know what could possibly help. I think there was some loss with the bad links he got, but we're not sure, so we're kind of stuck and don't know what the next step is.
Okay, so have you guys done an analysis on the site to figure out what's going on?
Yeah, we've done there's actually been 3 SEO companies in the past year that's worked on it, looked at it. We've done right now the site, there's no warnings in Webmaster tools, there's no reports of bad links, but we could obviously tell there are some low quality links. We did, we analyzed the links, so we're wondering, should we try to remove those? Should we not? Should we even engage that disavow tool? And how we could go about, maybe getting some good links that actually will help his rankings.
But you're saying you've not had any manual penalization notifications, right?
Correct.
Yeah, and have you guys done an on-site audit? Because I'm finding, just like real quickly, I'm finding a few things that wouldn't account for 100% of the problem, but could be contributing to a problem. So have you guys done any research on that?
We have. Can you maybe say what you're talking about, just so I know where we're at?
Well, sure. Yeah. I mean, like you have now. Again, this wouldn't account for it, but this is a knee-jerk reaction. Your title tag doesn't appear to be really super rich or targeted. You have 6 different H2s on the page, very few of which have good quality content in it. And there's still quite a few keywords, although it's not like you've got it's not like you've got 30 meta keywords in there, but you still have several keywords. And so anyway, I'm just breezing through it, and I noticed a few things quickly.
And you guys might have an opinion on this, but his industry.
Yeah, I'm actually. There's 6 H1 tags.
On the home page, I only found 1.
Yeah, no, this is on. So if you scroll to the bottom and all that footer-related crap that's down there, those quick links, and I clicked on insulated pallet covers, for example, and it took me to that page, and I started looking at it, and I said, well, let's just see how many H1 tags. So view source, and there are 6 H1 tags.
And Matt, you're absolutely correct on that. What I found in some of the reports I just ran on the site in February 2012. Was the start of the penalties, and I think the last portion of their penalty was June 2014.
I'm looking at the link profile, and there seems to have been an SEO with directory addiction there. I'm seeing a lot of crappy directory links that aren't going to do anyone any good.
Those are the ones that were, probably going to get removed with the disavow tool. Do you guys recommend doing that on a few links?
Did you do more than just a disavow tool?
What's that?
If you can actually pull your listings from these directories in the first place, rather than putzing up with disavows, that would be better. But failing that, yeah.
First try to approach it manually, and then if it doesn't work, then use the tool.
Then kill it with fire, exactly.
Personally, I wouldn't rely on the disavow tool to do anything for you. If you have link problems, you definitely need to delete those links.
And you need to call the master plumber. Oh, sorry.
So would that delete those links means go manually?
Oh, yeah. Always go after removal first. Only use the disavow as a backup. Never use disavow as your first line of defense.
Got it. Okay.
And I would.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and I would definitely, we're joking in the chat room, but, I would definitely look at the larger picture, which is some of your on-page, not larger, but another issue, which is your on-page. You've got a lot of things going on there that could be cleaned up.
What's happened is his industry goes after words that include the word insulated, the word thermal, and the word cold chain. So I think what's the mistake has been all these keywords have been trying to be stuffed, trying to get all these keywords on one page, and that's kind of I think where the mistake is also, right?
Yeah. You have to remove the keyword stuffing. The footer links at the bottom of the page. Check that out. That's far too excessive.
Yeah.
Even if you want to take a keyword-based approach SEO, which is a little 2010, but still, even if you want to take a keyword-based approach SEO, you can really only do one topic per page, in my opinion, and only very closely related ones. And you really shouldn't have it in the URL and the title and 6 H1s and 10 times in the content and then 40 different keywords in the footer. That's way, way too excessive.
Yeah, and I would look at your.
And I think
I would look at your internal architecture too, your cross-linking, because by trying to build every page up for that same set, you're actually building no pages up for that, and you need to have the correct hierarchy to where you have these pages which tell Google this is the most authoritative page for that term, and then you go to the other term and you say these pages support this money page. This is the most important page for that. Right now you've got everything going, there's no good architecture there.
That was our next step, is to group our keywords, like put all the insulated ones together and separate them and then focus, like pretty much what you're saying.
Well, and the key is that's not just for SEO. That is for people finding the right content in the right sales path order and presenting it in a clear format. So, that's not just trying to hit something for keywords. That's presenting data in a logical format.
Thank you so much.
Kevin, on that same topic, can you see my screen by chance?
Yeah.
Okay, the chart that I'm looking at right now from the traffic trending for all time, you can definitely see what he's actually talking about in the graph. If you can see basically my reports here, where I talked about, like, he first got, they were climbing, but I think the biggest thing was May 2011 when they started to actually finally fall. So one of the recommendations I would suggest is to put an annotation, just an annotation in your Google Analytics that you may have fallen, on May 2011, and then be able to go back to when you can start to recover. But from this report right here, it looks like you guys are paying for more traffic to try to actually rebound, right?
In 2011, he hired an SEO company which just did those backlinks. All those backlinks were early January, February 2011. So it looks like from this report, it helped for a second, and then Google caught on
and that's what we're finding is a trend. And so this orange line though indicates where you guys are paying, and you guys probably hit like almost the floor here and decided, oh, we have something we have to deal with. Let's get more traffic back in our paid advertising, right? And so basically, if we look back in that report back on March 2013, it looks like you guys really influxed your paid advertising. I mean, not a lot, but more than your organic to try to recover, right?
Yes, we do pay-per-click as well, and it's always being paused and upgraded and downgraded.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think the point there is you definitely need to go back in your stats and look at what's going on. I mean, definitely you can look at the traffic, you look at your analytics and see when you had a drop, and then correlate that with dates, Penguin release dates, or bad merchant, or page layout algorithm, or payday loans, all the different algorithms that they're nice enough to announce for us, and then you can kind of piece together from there what you need to do to fix it up. Okay.
Thank you so much.
And one thing to add to the last piece that I just showed you, SEMrush, I'm a good supporter of them because the tool works. That's the only really big report I look for, is when I'm doing a site review, even if it's in Webmaster forums, the Google Webmaster Help forums, where I participate and volunteer, you have to actually be able to analyze quickly. And what I've learned in the last 2-3 years of being in there, I had to be quick. And these are the tools that help me to get those jobs done so I can quickly go on to the next answer and help the person as they can go. But that's just my...
Perfect.
Yeah, I noted the URL that you showed on your report, so I could check it out too. Thank you.
Awesome. Speaking of the next answer, I believe Veronica had a question, and we may even have an answer for her. Veronica, please take it away.
Okay, so I only do SEO for apartments. It's the multifamily housing industry that we have our clients in. So we have like over 900 clients now and websites that we do SEO for. And the pigeon, right, really affected us pretty severely because maps were removed, right, from apartments, and now we're competing with ILSs and Craigslist and all those that kind of took over the space on the first page. So I wanted to ask the group if they've heard anything or seen any traction or any hints that maybe the maps might come back for us permanently.
So just to get some context on this, Barry might be able to help me with the dates because I don't watch local as closely as I watch everything else. But Pigeon was a local update that Barry named, actually, if I recall correctly. That's not Google's name. But Barry named a local update that was in the last couple of months, Pigeon. And a lot of people believe it's more changing local to being a little bit more entity-based, maybe than local has been in the past. And you're saying, Veronica, that in doing apartment SEO, they've removed your apartment listings from the maps?
Well, just maps were removed from the first page. We've been trying a slew of different apartment searches, and sometimes they come up, sometimes we'll even see the knowledge graph, sometimes it's just a text-heavy first page experience. We've seen it kind of all over the page, and we keep waiting for more adjustments and more updates, but we haven't really seen anything stick since the Pigeon dropped.
Can you show us an example query of where you think it should show a map, but instead it's just showing the text-based search?
So historically, like if you type in Atlanta apartments, that's very atypical of one of our clients, a luxury apartment in Atlanta, Atlanta apartments, right? Any given search, we will either have alt text or we'll have images. It just depends. Apartments near me, things of like those are some of the stuff that we've been testing out.
Yeah, well, for Atlanta apartments, I'm just getting all text for me.
Yeah, right. It used to be maps.
I'm getting the same thing, Josh, all text. Can she type in, I mean, I don't want to make this public to the world, but I think that maybe if we can have it in a personal chat, maybe a URL we can take a look at to identify what may be the bigger issue?
Of the client.
By the way, guys, if you're not talking, do you mind muting yourself so there's no binging and bonging? And
just a clarification, though, is that Google is constantly changing that. So, you know, we've seen things pop in and pop out of carousel and you know, all of that different stuff several times before. So I would say that when we say what the problem is, there may not actually be a problem with what you're doing. It may be Google selecting that it is no longer going to show that query in the format that you're desiring for them to show it in.
Kevin, great point. I mean, we've talked about Pigeon updates so often, and we've had mixed results all the way from when it first started, even to some of the hiccups that we've had recently in the last 3 days. But you know, I think with depending on, have you gone in and taken the time to re-verify all those listings? Because I guarantee when you log into the profile itself, not as a manager, when you log into the client directly, you'll see the messages that Google has prompted for, and those prompts are normally for re-verification so that they can know that you're part of this real listing.
Well, we saw a lot of that, but not actually with the Pigeon. We saw a lot of that when Google My Business dropped. We noticed that we'd go back into our accounts, and we don't have master accounts. We would have individual client accounts that they also have access to, and we'd go in and we re-verify the listings. We've done all that. That's part of our monthly kind of check-off list, is to make sure that those Google Plus accounts are just, you know, perfect. So that's not, we checked that. That's not really the issue.
Well, what about the rest of your IYP citation checking, name, address, and phone number consistency? Are you verifying that?
Yeah, that's something that we also do. Part of our service is making sure that their NAP score is consistent across the web. That's also part of it. It just seems like Google is just changing the experience on the first page, and I don't particularly like it. It's not helping my clients. And I just didn't know if you guys knew if it would change back or heard of anything.
I've actually found a couple of breaks and fixes for what you're actually talking about, especially with, you know, you're talking about apartments. I work with a lot of different type of entities for project management and stuff like that. We had some issues with multiple locations at one time, and how we fixed that was, you know, going through, and actually I had to have each one of the employees go out and take a picture with their cell phone to get me the GPS coordinates of that picture so that I can put it up on the actual Google Plus My Business. And it has seemed to actually reauthorize the account. I don't know if that's something that many people have tried, but those are the workarounds that I've had to accomplish. Now I've got so many other fixes that I have to do. I've got a couple clients that basically have images that fell through to or from Google Places, all the different transitions, but somebody actually put a crazy image on there. I'm trying to get rid of it. It's like if you type in the actual business name, this really creepy image looks at, and it's basically for autism. That shouldn't be there, but I can't get rid of it. So those are the flaws we're going to find. But again, I mean, Google's always changing and adapting to semantic search and all the different things. It's trying to satisfy so many at one time. But the analogy I always go back to.
Hold on. Time out. Sorry, William. Time out. So I think you have a good point there, William. Are you in Atlanta yourself, Veronica?
No, I'm in Boca Raton right now.
Oh, right. Okay, you said that, of course. So, I mean, if I do Atlanta apartments, obviously I'm in Victoria, BC, Canada. Google's like, well, what do you want? Do you want information pages? Because they know I'm not local, right? But if I do Victoria apartments, I get a bunch of map listings. So, have you factored that into your calculations?
I do a search for Boca Raton. See, I just did one for Boca Raton apartments, and I just get all text and ads.
Right, but are you, I guess that to Josh's point, maybe I shouldn't assume this, but when you're doing your searches, are you doing them incognito, and are you setting your location to be that of your client?
Yeah, no, good point. So yeah, we do, obviously we use incognito all the time, and then we also have clients. We'll be on the phone with the client, we'll do the exact same search as the client to see their experience and where they're physically located and where we are, obviously in Salt Lake, where my staff is. So we've been doing that as well and seeing the difference.
And that's good too, but remember you also can
real quick,
specifically set your location.
I went through the last little bit of looking at different cities around the country, and yes, if you are, and right now I'm geo-targeted in San Jose, and so I did an apartment search, San Jose apartments. I spoofed my IP and I moved myself around the country the last few minutes, and match results are not. And I think that's part of what the algorithm change is. I don't know when it's coming back, and yes, I did say spoof. I do know how to change my IP around different areas around the U.S. and things like that, which is awesome. It's a good thing to learn if you can. It took me a little bit, and why you want to do it is so that way you can test it different data centers.
I'm all about spoofing my IP.
You're all about spoofing. I don't know about the IP.
Let's take about a plumber's look at this. If I was a plumbing marketing agency, and I was actually marketing from the plumber location that I would be marketing from, but I had a bunch of other companies I did for plumbing, right, Josh? But I actually had the same post from all my customers coming from one IP location. The clients were not actually doing anything themselves. A marketing agency was doing all for them. So there's no real engagement. That's all I want to say.
So, yeah, so the short answer, Veronica, is, Google obviously could be making changes based on the semantic they think that query is supposed to elicit. So is it an informational query, or is it more of a navigational / map query? When I search for apartments in my local area, they give me apartments in my local area. But when if I were to type in apartments Victoria, I get information page. Right? You might not be comparing apples to apples. That, of course, doesn't help you with a problem if suddenly all your apartment clients, their traffic has gone down. That could be related. It might not be related. So it's hard to give you help on that. But maybe if you're searching for the right thing, you might start being able to do an apples-to-apples comparison. Does that make sense?
Yes, that helps.
All right, great. Does anybody else have any suggestions for Veronica to help her out?
Well, I would just go back. Go ahead.
No, I kind of heard a bit. So basically, Veronica, like the maps are disappearing for certain places, right?
For apartments.
For apartments, yeah. So these clients that you have, I mean, you got their account number, so why don't you ring, Google My Business directly and speak to them and see, what's going on over there, because they have a different way of, looking than we can. At the same time, did you go to Google MapMaker to see what's going on? Did you see when the changes were happening, when they were not happening?
No, I haven't used MapMaker.
So check out Google MapMaker and see when's the last TC made a change, and then that will help you as well.
Yeah, giving them a call might be an idea. I don't think.
No, it's not an idea. It works. They figure out what the problem is. I had a lot of mine stuff fixed.
Oh yeah, no, I agree with you, Baruch, but I don't think it's not that her listings are dropping off the map. It's that the map is no longer showing in the SERP.
That's fine.
But they might know why this is, or they might be like, yeah, we're playing with things in Pigeon. They might be able to give you some insider information.
Yeah, this is a business listing issue. This is a maps listing issue of where Google removed either the 3-pack or the 7-pack or even the 5-pack. And so they removed all of them out of that search result. That search result used to render a maps with a pack listing, but then they did an algorithm update and then they removed it. And so that's where the issue comes to play.
Yeah, so as I said, it could just be that we're having trouble testing it. Like if people in Atlanta, when they type apartments, they may actually see a map, and so you don't actually have a problem. And when they type luxury apartments, they might see luxury apartments, and so there might not be a problem. And it just might be a problem from the SEO perspective of us trying to replicate the search result. But if that's not the case, definitely John Mueller would be another good person to talk to about this. If you can get in on one of his Hangouts, I can give you the page where they're all listed, when they're going to be. If you can, I'll put it in the chat. If you can go to one of his Hangouts or ask a question in one of his Hangouts and explain to him what's going on, he might be able to shed some light on it too.
Yeah, and one more thing, question on this. Going back to something I think Josh said earlier is obviously if you're not showing and you're asking us, hey, why doesn't it show? And well, okay, tough noodles. Google has changed that, and we can't force our will upon Google. We've all tried. Some of us have better luck than others to at least motivate them. But the larger issue is, are you losing traffic, visibility, and conversion as a result of that? Then that's going to come back to how are you scoring in your organic, and so that's something that we could definitely if we had the actual addresses and so forth, could look at. We do a lot of multi-location stuff where local SEO is very important. So I think I would separate those two issues out. And if you're trying to get back, because you've lost that map pack now, and so now you're way down the page, or you weren't even visible on the page before, let's try and get your organic listings up.
Okay.
Well, Kevin, I will say this. Veronica will be at S, so we can all meet up then.
There you go. Let's do it.
Okay, folks. So I think I saw that Danny had another question in the chat that might be vaguely interesting to talk about. You had a maps question there, Danny?
Yeah. So I'm wondering how FedEx is getting away with doorway pages. Still, in 2014, if you search Ojai, California printing, they show up, but their closest physical location to Ojai, California is over 12 miles away. And they offer online printing. So you could order online if you search for Ojai, California, and that looks like a doorway page to me, or a bridge page, or whatever you want to call it. So how are they getting away with this? Are they just a big brand that can do this?
Which one? So I've done the search. Which one is the what you think is a doorway page, an alleged doorway page?
This is for FedEx.
Yeah, I see it.
I don't get FedEx.
Is it the local.fedex.com?
Yeah, local.fedex.com /ca/ blah blah blah.
So the title tag says color printing in Ojai, California. So you think that they have a physical location there. So they're being misleading there. And then when you go to the page, They don't have a location in Ojai, California, but they have 3 locations that are at least 12 miles away.
Oh, so this is
And these are classic doorway pages, duplicate content all over. If you look at the paragraphs towards the bottom under the map on the right, it's the same text verbiage, just with the cities swapped out on each of these pages. I've looked through some of their city pages.
So,
well, with regard to the duplicate, just a clarification on the duplicate, a lot of people get duplicate confused. If there is enough alternate text throughout the entire site, or I'm sorry, the entire page, that duplicate may not kick in. So if there's enough variability throughout the entire page, Google will pick up on that.
This doesn't look like there's a lot of variability, though.
The only variability I see is the closest cities nearby on the top left.
This is a fantastic question, guys, and I've been dealing with this for about 4 years. Oh, probably longer than that, but 4 years at least for one particular industry. And they still have those same pages that he's displaying, and even after Panda and everything else, still succeed. And what I'm seeing lately in the flux of the algorithm that's happening from 10 to 15th of this month, I think that might be the end of those doorway pages. But I'm not sure. I'm still testing.
Well, keep in mind that if people are finding this page, they're clicking through on this page, and then they are not returning, they're not bouncing. This is providing what people want. Google is going to be very hesitant to just stop serving this, because they have to serve something that people want.
Yeah, given
So
the authority,
keep that in mind.
it is FedEx. It is the FedEx site that's going to have a lot of authority, right?
So brand plays a role in this, in other words.
Of course.
Because if I went tomorrow and opened a printage brokering where I bought and sold printing from my house, and I wanted to be listed for every local city, I could build 300 pages out in the top 300 cities and just kind of swap out the content.
Time out.
There's something else that needs to be considered here.
Wait.
Talk over each other. Hey.
Stop. Yes.
Right. Ojai is basically a little Asheville kind of place. Okay. It seems to have a couple of print houses, printers, what have you. There's not a whole lot there. So I guess Google could serve just a page with, I don't know, 2 results, or it could...
This is not a doorway page.
This is it.
Matt, what do you want to say, Matt?
So this is not a doorway page. And I can tell you that because I just tested it. And I tested it and I shoved it over to my city. And I did a search in the top left-hand corner there. And I said, well, let's find out what... And the URL still stays with local fedex.com/ca/san-jose/, okay? This is a bridge page. This is an inside search result page. This is the exact same thing Yelp does.
Yelp.
Okay? So is this a bad page for the user? I have to say no, because in effect the user is trying to find the information, and Google is giving this page because it has the conglomerate of the user out overall. Now, should a bridge page be indexed? Only if it helps the user.
So, this is what I was just going to get to, basically, because it's another result, another alternative to what is a very, very narrow field when you're searching.
I was going to say that, Sash, that it's a small place, so there's going to be limited resources.
So is that an exception to doorway pages or bridge pages? In other words, the rule is kind of, well, you can do it, but if you don't have anything else to show, you can.
If you go that direction, then you're going to be stuck in the same penalty that they're going to be coming out next. I have no But here's the thing, guys. I mean, think about the history of where Google has gone with its updates. I mean, we have no idea the direction for 2015 yet. Google hasn't told us. But what we can see...
So here's the thing, okay? here's the thing. Okay, where I think we're starting to get mired in the brush here a little bit, and we need to back out and think about this, is that while all of us are trying to say, what is FedEx doing, what is Yelp doing, things like that, what really matters is what you're doing for the quality of your site. The best thing that you can possibly do, if you have a problem with a search result, is either one, you can bring it to the Google form, or two, you can submit feedback on it. And that's the best thing to do. And I don't think it's wise to be thinking about next week, next month, or next year, even the next decade. I think the best thing is to worry about is the issues you have with your clients and your sites that you're working. And Sash, correct me if I'm wrong and call me a moron.
You're a moron. No.
Well, he asked for that one.
I did.
Well, here's the thing, though, I like where Matt's going with this, and especially because, and we haven't seen the other page yet, but I'm looking at this page and I'm thinking this should not be this difficult to beat. I mean, even if FedEx is very authoritative, it is not authoritative for that location. And so, if there's an actual shop there that's your client, then they should have geo-encoded pictures. They should have, they should be part of a chamber that links back to them. They should be part of, there should be comments and conversation that's happening around them. They should sponsor a Little League team and talk about the fact that they're sponsoring that Little League team. This should not be that difficult to beat, or at least show very close to. If you're doing the right things like Matt is talking about.
If you're a brick-and-mortar location in that place, there's no way FedEx should outrank you. If it does outrank you, then you're doing something fundamentally wrong.
Look at your IYP, look at your citations, make sure you're consistent in apps, make sure that the page is valuable for people in that location and talks about the subject matter you want to be found for.
So
and
I'm gonna
the links
I'm
of
gonna
course
jump in here.
from the area as well. The links play a big role too.
So I'm gonna jump in here for a second. Hold on. So
Connecting the dots.
Danny, were you saying that the issue is that because FedEx is a larger company, you feel it's unfair that they're getting away with more? Because I noticed right under FedEx is a local OSI print company that's ranking lower than FedEx that specializes on print. Are you saying it's unfair that this is the case? Whether it's a doorway page or a bridge page, these are subjective determinations we can argue about till the cows come home. You're saying it's unfair? Like, what is your issue?
It's a violation of the Google terms and conditions, so that page should be removed from the index.
Completely immoral.
If you read the
a doorway
search engine rating, but if you read the search engine raters guide, the part about query, I mean, okay, I agree with you that superficially it does break the quality guidelines as far as the doorway pages are concerned, but that's kind of a fine line. And I also agree with William that sooner or later, I think they're going to dole out something for this that's going to be pretty hefty. But if you read the search engine quality raters guide, you see that if the page, and I mean, as Kevin's already pointed out, if the page fulfills query intent, then it has value. And if it has value, then in a very narrow field of results, there is merit in it being shown. Now, of course, if FedEx is doing this tens and hundreds of thousands of times across the entire nation, then sooner or later they're going to fall into a hole.
I mean, it's really more of a set of guidelines, not really rules.
There be guidelines are.
And keep in mind, right now, I'll share a link here in the Hangout for you guys. If you were to go and do a search for San Francisco nail salon, and I could show you more. That's one of my favorite ones I love to do. I'm not a nail guy.
You know your nails. What is the deal with nails? Are you getting 9 pennies every day?
She's got a nail fetish.
Search you can do to see localized results like this. And so if you do a search for San Francisco nail salons, you'll see stuff where Yelp is actually ranking very well for a bridge page. And it's an inside search result page. Is it a bad result page? That's the question we have to ask ourselves. I don't feel it's a bad result for the user to land on this page anymore. I used to feel that way. Yeah.
I would think FedEx and Yelp are different. Yelp is offering a service to other businesses, whereas FedEx is just benefiting itself.
No, he's talking about.
You started that conversation. I'm sorry, I have to interrupt. But FedEx and UPS, all those guys have their own differentiations. They all suck at marketing, so I'm leaving that at that.
Well, whether they suck at marketing or not, I think Danny's point is valid. I think Yelp is promoting smaller businesses, so having that rank highly might not be such an unfair thing, but FedEx is just promoting themselves, really.
We're going to get
Remember that Yelp is promoting smaller businesses, but yet those businesses have to pay to get good reviews.
Like $400 a month.
Yeah, I think the other thing is too is if you look at like even the organic listing that is showing up there, it's not terribly optimized itself. I always like to deal in the things that I can deal with. I don't agree with Google on exact match domains. I don't agree with them on duplicate content when it has local query intent. I don't agree with them with a lot of stuff, but really at the end of the day, all I can do is complain about those things. What I can control is I can build a kick-ass website that has the trappings and the necessary things to beat the crap out of it. So that's what I would...
Sorry, Kevin, what do you mean you don't agree with those things? How do you do not agree?
You really want me to get into that right now?
Like your 30-second version, yeah. Okay,
I think anything left of the TLD or the CCTLD should be neutral. Just take that, don't tell me that Best Buy won't be found when they are actually going to have all of the trappings of a Best Buy site. So don't tell me that that's assisting you. It's only one person can have that, or depends on how far down the line you go with all of these.
So does Google, and so does numerous Google patents.
Yeah, so, and then with the duplicate content, that's a real simple one, is if you have a Pizza Hut, because Google says write good content, and this is exactly what I told Matt Cutts at SMX West is, if you are Pizza Hut and you have carefully crafted your message, it is the same message whether you're in Sarasota or whether you're in Fort Wayne, Indiana. That doesn't change. And you know that it converts well, because you've done the test on it. Why should I have to change that content because Google can't say, oh, they've looked for Fort Wayne pizza instead of Sarasota pizza? Okay? The duplicate content is only because they can't weed it out based off of a localized query.
I think you might have a point.
Well, Matt Cutts seemed to think I did, and so did John Mueller, but that doesn't mean it's going to change.
I mean, it would cost tens of thousands of dollars to rewrite a page for every city they're in. Maybe even hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean, it's ludicrous.
Or you can employ us. And
then it'll be millions of dollars.
Millions of dollars. But no, the point is, because when I said to Matt, I said, look, we want to be above board. We want to do this right. What do you? If I'm trying to give the customer what they want, but the business needs to convert, and they don't want to spend millions of dollars to redo their message 100 times over and test all of that. What do you suggest? If we're going for quality, what do you suggest do? And so his comment was, well, you should put something on that homepage that is absolutely unique. And I said, oh, so you want me to do something specifically for you? I thought that was against what you guys wanted us to do. He didn't like that part. But anyway, so.
October 31st.
What's that?
October 31st. Josh knows.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I'm still watching for you guys.
Context for that. So, what was our bet, Baruch? We had a bet going.
100 Canucks.
We'll include everybody on the internet in this bet, so they know that we're honorable people, us Canadians. So, what was our bet, Eric? Baruch?
100 Canucks.
$100 Canuck dollars if what?
If Matt Cutts doesn't return by October 31st.
Right. I bet Baruch 100 Canadian dollars, so about 13 cents American, that Matt Cutts will not return to Google before October 31st.
You watch. October, right on Halloween, man. You'll see that Google Plus post.
Matt does not return before Halloween. He owes me 100 Canadian bucks.
So what if Matt does not return at all? What if John Miller has to step into the breach?
Uh-oh, you didn't say that.
Well, him not returning at all is not returning by October 31st, so.
Darn tootin'. Okay, folks, does anyone else have any other questions or interesting stuff they want to talk about?
I have a question. Why did nobody tell me it was your International Talk Like a Pirate Day?
Slipped my mind, mate.
I just did in chat. Come on. It's on Barry Schwartz's page. I mean, it's the logo of the day. I mean, come on. You guys are low on your History Channel.
I voted no.
I have a quick question referring to the H tags you found. You said there were 6 H1 tags. I looked at that, and some of them are in the comments. Does Google look at the comments too, and should those be cleaned up if there are tags in there?
Clean it.
Yes. yes with a capital Y.
Okay, wait. Go back to if your grandma does not need to see it, don't post it.
Okay.
Look, 6 isn't really all that much. I actually did a page analysis last night, and I came across 24. So,
We had a guy on a couple weeks ago that had a whole bunch.
I've got one that actually I'm trying to actually diagnose right now, and I'm trying to figure out. He's got almost 4 million. So I'm trying to figure out what he did wrong. I can't figure that out.
So
most of the time, guys, obviously what's happening there is that the designer is using it for a style purpose instead of creating a separate class. I mean, that's what happens most of the time.
It was a photo gallery, and each photo title was an H1. So, and it was all commented out. But I guess let's review that.
Hold on. So the number of H1s I don't think makes any difference whatsoever for your ranking. However, my original point was, yes, you most definitely have to watch your user-generated comments and any user-generated content on your site. You have to moderate that and police that for quality. Definitely. That's definitely a ranking issue.
Now, that would be a good...
Plumber. Right, Kevin? Master Plumber just said it here on...
I didn't catch that.
Sorry, Kevin. What was that? Go ahead, Kevin.
Comcast.
Well, I was going to say is that I would say that multiple H1s by themselves is probably not going to tank you because Google does know that developers run amok on that. But I would say it's part of a larger issue. If you have multiple H1s on a page and the content that's held within them is not H1 worthy, and then you also have keyword spam, like meta keyword spam, and you have this, I think it's cumulative, that they look at it and they say that that's a poorly developed site. But I would agree with Josh. I don't want to insinuate that H1s by themselves is going to tank it.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Longtime watcher of Helpdesk Hangouts, a guy by the name of Matt Storms, brought something to my attention recently. Matt, did you want to talk about this site search thing that you were talking about earlier?
Well, I think that's, yeah. So I'll talk about, there's 2 things I'll bring up. So I'll bring up the site search one at the second one. So the first one, go do an income.
You lost your comb?
What?
Nice haircut.
Have you lost your comb?
Oh, my hair does this when it starts to grow out. I look like Gert B. Frobe off of Joe Dirt. Okay?
Where's the Google hat?
Oh, stop it. So let's move on. So here's, because I only got 10 minutes. So here's the cool thing. So go do an incognito search for Matt Storms and check out the right side of the page.
You trying to boost up your ranking here or something?
No. Just don't click on anything when you get on the page. Just on the right-hand side of the page, just look and see that little box there.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's Freebase data finally being pulled in. It only took 16 months.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool. And if you go search Matthew Storms, you'll get the same. You'll get a Did You Mean Matt Storms, and it'll kick you over there to the Matt Storms one. So kind of use data. A good use of Freebase if you guys want to go play around with that. I strongly say that again, Sash.
It is indeed.
Yes, I strongly suggest playing with Freebase. There's some unique things you can do with it. And it only took 16 months for that to show up in there. And Danny, I don't really want my home address to show, believe it or not. But it's really easy to find it. If anybody really wanted to go find my home address, it's not that difficult.
You move every month. Every month you move to a new city. So what difference does it make?
I don't move every month, but I've had death threats in the past. So I want to be careful of that.
It would be interesting to talk a little bit more about things that impact Did You Mean? Because I think it was like about 2 years ago I was doing quite a bit of research on that because my own, well, I guess it was longer than that. It's probably 4 years ago, 3-4 years ago, because Kevin Mullet with 2 T's, because that's what differentiates me from the fish and Matt Storm's haircut, is sorry, Matt, is that one of the methods that people were talking about using and that seemed to work for me was getting a strong open LinkedIn profile and having people linking to that and so forth. So I don't know, I'm curious to other things of where it can pull in that Did You Mean correct information.
Matt, whoever's got that ring, please mute yourself. And Matt, what was your other search thing?
So my other search thing, so let's all go do a search to me right now. We'll all go do it together, that way I don't have to do a screen share. Go to google.com and let's just search active.com.
Active.com?
And then you'll see the inside search result bar that they just came out with a couple weeks of a search result. Okay, so we'll just type in there 5K. Okay. And we'll hit enter on that. And so now you see, after everybody's done that search, hopefully it didn't take you too long to do it, you'll see 5K space site : active.com. So Google has aggregated your data, and they are showing your results how Google wants them to show. And you have your inside site parameters built out. You can move stuff around. You can do different things with it. So unfortunately, by using Google's platform like this, while it's good, and I wholeheartedly endorse everybody should possibly do this if it makes sense, that you could have outdated information showing up in there. So you have to be a little bit careful of making sure that your pages are the correct pages and things like that. There's some interesting things on there.
But do you suggest, I mean, yeah, I want them still to go to the home page though, Matt, and check out, maybe I got some really cool promo on that on my main home site, as opposed to, I don't know. It's kind of.
So that's not really what the purpose of that is, though. But if you go through and you if you land on that search for like Active.com or any of these other companies, you can do an inside search result on that site through the Google search page, and then Google will resolve the result. You don't get to like Active.com's internal pages to actually see what's on there through Active's own search results. So you'll end up going through a lot of different hoops, I think. So I think there could be problems in the future for some sites. I see that as kind of an issue that some webmasters, because you're not going to just want to worry about the interaction of your site. You're going to want to resolve for the user.
So Matt, do you see an issue there with because what you showed me was when you do that actual search in the little search box and go to the site, that it actually just does a site colon on that website, a site colon search in Google.
Yeah,
Do you see
I thought it was interesting too.
That search box would be good for places like 411, like .ca, like we have in Canada, you know, like local phone number. I mean, I would love to use that for that specific, you know, website. But I don't know. For a lot of my customers got approval for the search box, right? And a lot of thoughts are being like thinking about it, you know, if it's worth it or not. But you understand where I'm coming from, right? Like the search box would be useful for like a directory, like a phone directory, you know? As opposed to getting like 10 results. I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is a unique thing. I mean, the thing is, I mean, there is so, you know, it's a brand new tool, right? And so obviously there's going to be bugs with it. And so it's all a matter of trying to understand exactly what's going to help the user the most. I mean, while Google is doing a great job.
Well, here, congratulations to Yellow Pages. I mean, if you look at Yellow Pages, they've done it. So I would use the search box for that, and I would type in, let's say I need a plumber right now. So I'm going to type in plumber. Let's see here. Plumber, Toronto, let's see. And there you have it. Now basically with them, I mean, the first result is just the whatever plumber. I mean, they're all lined up.
What are you talking about, Brute? Brute, what are you saying? Sum it up in 10 seconds.
I typed in I typed in YP, and I got the search box. So for that, I would use the search box for those kind of stuff. What I'm saying is, I'm thinking as the user, what, like, does every company need this search box? And is it, you know?
I agree with you, Berg. I don't think that every company needs that search box.
So I'm saying YP is the one. Like, I typed in YP, and I got the search box. Now, I would use it for that particular reason. For if I need a plumber, if I got an emergency, I'm not going to go to their entire site and look at all the.
We got to wrap this up. I'm sorry, I have to interrupt, guys. You know, there's a lot of updates going on right now, guys, and things are going to go up and down. And we have to actually, so that's not a huge signal. What happens when you type it into Google? Or Bing, or Yahoo?
Yeah, I mean, we only got 2 minutes left, so let's hand it back over to Josh.
Thank you, Matthew, for handing it back to me. Christina, hi, how you doing?
Hi.
We have 2 minutes left. If you have a quick question, we can try to get to it.
No, I seem to have come late.
A little, just a touch late, just a little bit. Don, how are you doing?
It told me 3 o'clock. It is 3 o'clock now. Well, just before.
They lied.
Well,
Matt Stewart, Matt Stewart, you can't trust him. Don, do you have anything to say in the last minute?
No, I'm sorry. I don't even know what you guys talked about. So anyway, just saying hello.
Mr. Halbert?
Not really. Other than I'll drop a bomb. A site that was switched over from HTTP to HTTPS 2.5 months now. I guess right away, right when Barry did his, Seward, completely gone. Not in the top 300, everything on everything.
Gone?
Gone.
Don't tell me you're trying to.
Question is, it sounds like it wasn't done correctly.
Well, I went over this with with you guys through the whole process. Remember, at first there was the disavow and all that stuff. You have to remember to disavow all the other. But I think there's some new information, isn't there? Somebody correct me on that about you don't have to.
There's a conspiracy theory going on that when Buffer upgraded to HTTPS, that they got a manual penalty from it. But okay, so we'll have to talk about that next week because this is the end of this week's Helpdesk Hangout, and I have been Matt Storms. Thank you very much for joining, and we'll see you next week. I can't actually shut down the live broadcast because I don't actually have any power, and I'm not actually Matt Storms.
Nice photo, man. Love that screenshot.
But goodbye for this week.
Later.
This has been Helpdesk Hangouts. Thank you very much. We'll see you next
Bye.
week.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.